Hello everyone, and thank you for joining. Today we have the Community Solutions Program, Western Hemisphere, Alumni Panel Discussion. Today, we are going to go over the Community Solutions Program overview, eligibility criteria. I'm going to introduce 3 alumni. We're going to have questions and answers, and finally, some closing comments. The Community Solutions Program is a program of global network for local leaders. And Amelia de la Cruz from the Dominican Republic says it in a very great way. The Community Solutions Program, or CSP, allows each of its participants to build a worldwide community. As we can see in this picture, we have many different participants from different parts of Latin America and the Caribbean. Now, to be eligible, you must be between the age of 25 and 38 as of January 1st, 2020. And you must be from one of the following countries: Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Haiti, Jamaica, Paraguay, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, and Uruguay. All of these countries are seen in the green on the map. Applicants must also be living and working in their home country, and individuals with refugee status working on behalf of their home communities may be given a special consideration. Applicants must also have at least 2 years of experience working on community development, either as a full-time or part-time employee or volunteer. And applicants must have a high level of proficiency in spoken and written English. This will be evaluated at the final stage of the selection process. Now, about CSP. There are 4 components that the CSP has. 2 will be in country and 2 will be in their home country. The 2 that will be in country are our 4-month US-based fellowship that takes place between August and December. And this is where fellows are matched with nonprofit organizations, private entities, and government offices across the United States, where they work with US colleagues on initiatives related to issues they face in their own communities. And the second part is our Community Leadership Institute. The CLI is a graduate level leadership academy that provides customized learning and coaching to each CSP leader. Now, the 2 other components that will be done in their home country are the community-based initiatives, and this is where fellows develop innovative community action projects in collaboration with their US host institutions and implement these projects after they return to their home countries to integrate their new skills and knowledge into their community work at home. And finally, we have the global network of local leaders. And this is where the fellows continue to network and collaborate with like-minded leaders from around the world on development issues through alumni activities and opportunities. So even when you finish the program, you will still, our goal is for you guys to still be in contact with each other. Now, I will introduce our first alumni, who is Gracia Violette Ross Quiroga. She is from Bolivia. Her thematic area was on women and gender issues from the 2015 cohort, where she completed her practicum at Latino Commissions on AIDS in New York City. She worked on the foundation of Bolivian Network of Women Living with HIV. She is a woman openly living with HIV and a rape survivor. and it was very important for her to support the organization of women living with HIV in Bolivia. This group is not a priority for policymaking. She is the founder of National Movement of People Living with HIV, and in this position, she saw some groups of people with HIV did not have the same level of empowerment and information. For example, women, children, people who are incarcerated, and youth, and the indigenous people living with HIV. I will show a video of Gracia.
Hello everyone, my name is Gracia Ross. I am from La Paz, Bolivia, which is in South America. I am the national chair of the Bolivian Network of People Living with HIV and AIDS. I am a person living with HIV. In 2015, I decided to apply for the Community Solutions Program and I became a fellow. I was placed in New York in an organization called the Latino Commission on AIDS. They work with Latinos living with HIV and affected by this epidemic. This experience was very important for me. I gained new strategies, insights, new ways of looking at this epidemic from the community perspective. And I came back to Bolivia with a lot of new ideas to implement here. Currently, I am a board member in the alumni board in the CSP. And this video has the purpose of encouraging you to apply to this program. Sometimes we think maybe these programs are only for Africa. Well, no, this program also includes Latin American, Caribbean countries. I am sure you will gain a lot of experience living and working in the US, and I am sure they will also learn from your experience in your countries. So please apply and become a part of this global community of fellows in the Community Solutions Program. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Gracia, for the video. And now I will pass it on to our next alumni, Selena.
Hello, my name is Selina Andino. I am a product designer, and while attending CSP 2018 cohort, I was working with Project Emotion, which is an organization in San Francisco, California. Their mission is to foster healthy development in children and of all abilities through purposeful movements and play and community relationship. While I was working in Project Promotion, I was facilitating also natural dyes and design thinking workshops to the leadership team. I also was doing some promotional materials for them for their 10th anniversary while I was at Project Motion. I also had the opportunity to learn new methodologies about assessing children with different learning abilities that I've been applying here in my country. And also I was learning other movement strategies that I can now apply with my students at my current work right now.
Well, thank you, Selena. Um, this is all very great information. Thank you very much. And now I'll pass it on to Camila.
Hi, my name is Camila Rivadeneira. I'm from Ecuador. I'm an attorney. I've been volunteering in an organization for people with disabilities. So the organization has worked with grassroots organizations for more than 10 years. We have developed several projects focused on designing material for deaf people or blind people. And well, now we are working on projects helping organizations, grassroots organizations, setting smart goals for developing projects. Our organization, well, our skills are more focused on underserved population. We realize that there is a lack of information for people with disabilities. Most of information is in Spanish. There is no information in sign language or in Braille or audiobooks. So we're trying to foster these rights for people with disabilities. And now we are trying to work also with indigenous people who have disabilities, and this is our next project.
Thank you, Camila. Well, thank you for the introductions. Um, and we'll now go on to our questions and answers. So I will ask you guys a question, and then you guys can answer the question that I have asked. So the first question is, what qualities and experiences should applicants have to benefit from CSP? And Camila, can you answer this question first?
Okay, thank you. I think for me, the experience was most because I was volunteering with a grassroots organization, so I was very involved with the issue, especially with deaf people. For example, I started to engage with the community by learning sign language, Ecuadorian Sign Language, because it's the only way for understanding what's going on with the community. You have to been working. I think like a couple of years, it's fine, but really try to understand what's going on with the community, what kind of problems they have. And for example, um, and with our organization, we realize that this lack of information it's a great issue because especially for women, violence against women or sexual health, they don't know anything about prevention, contraception method, anticonceptive nothing. So I think it's a daily work we have with community. Being part of the community is being a leader is not only being outside of the community; it's being part of the community. Is getting involved with the community. So I think that's the first criteria one must meet.
Thank you, Camila. Would you like to add anything, Selena?
Yes, about the qualities for someone participating at CSP. This person should love learning because the whole program it's about learning about oneself and what are you capable of doing under a different uh, area that it's not your natural routine, and also learning from other cultures because it's a worldwide program. It's interesting to learn from different people with another points of view and try to respect that too. So the person who is applying for CSP must be willing to learn from others and be flexible to discuss and hear other points of view.
That's a very great point to bring up because one of our guiding principles is lifelong learning. So thank you. The next question on the other side is, what kind of person would this program not be a good fit for? So Selena, would you like to go first?
Yes, well, this program definitely is not for people who is afraid of speaking, people who doesn't trust about what they think or what they do. This program is also for a person who doesn't believe in teamwork, and also people should not apply if they don't feel comfortable being with a lot of different people from different nations, or feel uncomfortable in that sort of ambience. So it's important that they should be very clear about um, the things they will be experiencing through CSP, that involves meeting a lot of people and also being very proactive in order to get the most out of this experience.
Thank you. Camila, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, well, I totally agree with Selena. This program is not for someone who has not an open mind. because when you're working with a CSP team, um, one meets different people from all over the world. Um, my mind changed a lot. I'm a very open-minded, but if someone is not, this program is not for that person. It's not for someone who that has not a will for meeting new cultures, or who has no respect for other ways of thinking or cultures or sexual issues, like or cultural or ethnicity. It's not addressed for those kind of things.
Thank you. That's a great response to this question. Our next question, Camila, goes for you. Um, what did you get out of your experience during CSP?
Oh, what did I get? Oh, I think I don't know. I don't know even where to start about it. First, the CSP is not what I thought it was going to be. It's amazing. It's an amazing program. It changed my life. It changed my mind. Um, I'm so glad because I had the opportunity for meeting people from all over the world, cultures I've never imagined I was going to meet. And my experience was I was supported all the time by the CSP team. That's amazing because you are changing from culture. American culture is different. Um, Learning or maybe just living in a peacefully environment is very different. Most of us come from countries with high social conflicts levels, and like being supported, having a personal coach, if I can say that, and having the team supporting, it was the experience uh, I learned the most. I learned all the time. I learned about myself. I learned that I can be a leader. I lost my, I don't know, my fears. And I think the experience that I got the most was knowing myself and learning that there's a lot of potential inside me that I can share with my community.
Thank you, Camila. Selena?
Well, definitely CSP is more than what I was expecting. And what I get out from this experience, it's first of all, make a new network of contacts, international contacts that I know that even though we don't talk all day, or every day, sorry, I know that I can count on them if I have one idea in my mind that I could work with them. Also, the program pushed myself to get out of my comfort zone and also try to think how can I link my profession as a designer to other disciplines. While at Project Emotion, I was doing that, precisely working how creativity in other areas can also be joined together. And the most important thing, learn about myself, what I can do under circumstances like being in around it and surrounded by such great leaders from around the world, and what can I learn from them and how I've been applying that with my students at university, and also applying it to my life too, personally speaking.
Thank you. This is also great to hear. And lastly, any recommendations during the application process that you have for future applicants?
Okay.
Camila? Or Selena, sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, just be patient, because during the selection process for the organization, sometimes you get anxious that you may not be the right fit, or the organization may not be the one that you've been looking for. And write every expecting from the CSP experience, and be clear also to the organization what are you planning to do. and so that they can also be clear about what you have to offer to the organization. I think that that's the most important, one of the most important things, that you have to be very honest since the beginning of all this process, to really know what are your abilities, what are your strengths, and what you can offer to the organization, and what are you expecting to learn from the organization.
Thank you. Camila, any
Yeah,
recommendations?
yes. Yes, I think it's been more like during the application process, trying to focus on what one wants to give to the community, because sometimes we're very focused on what do we want from for ourselves, right? But that's something that a CSP is going to develop in the students, in the cohort students, but it's more about thinking, what can I offer to my community? What is missing inside me that I can give all my potential. For example, for me, it was the lack of expertise, of technical expertise for project management, and I knew that I had a lot of skills for working with my community, but I knew I had a lack of technical skills. So I knew that if I was going to learn this, I was going to be like a very good leader for my community. And I think that it's focusing more on what can I give to my community? How can I help them out? Right? That's what we are going to learn in the CSP.
All right. Thank you both very much. So before we do end this discussion, do you guys have any last words of encouragement for our future applicants?
Yes, you won't regret it, even though you may think it's like a big challenge, is one of the best challenges you can have for your life. It's a learning and life learning experience.
Thank you.
Yes, I mean, please apply for the program. The program is awesome. You guys gonna learn a lot about yourselves, about community, about other cultures. It's more than one is expected. um, and no regrets about all. It's a life learning. It's gonna last all your life. It's amazing. It changed lives.
Well, thank you, Gracia, for the video, and thank you, Camila and Selena, for joining us today. Remember, application deadline is October 30th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.